Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can see like if your eyes are getting bad, it's harder to make the patterns to be consistent, I guess. But yeah, that's
Kind of
that's
like
the one that she
tattooing.
was talking about to me when I was a kid. Yeah, I know. It was my great grandmother is the one that had those all the tattoos, but back then the shame culture was pretty bad. So I have pictures of my great grandmother, but she's always wearing a jacket, and it's
Mhm.
so messed up, man. Because at that time, it's just you know, every time she would go down down the mountain, of course, people throw rocks at her or talk smack. You know what I mean? Saying stuff. So to avoid that, sometimes she just had to you know, keep a jacket on so people
Sorry,
wouldn't see the
when she
tattoos.
went to the lowlands, you mean?
Yeah, because like to when they want to sell stuff, and then they walk down the mountain, or if they need to buy certain things or trade or whatever when they go back up and down the mountain. Sometimes, you you get haggled.
Yeah.
Mm.
And these
So
are the kinds of things that a lot of
to
people didn't
prevent
realize
that,
that our ancestors, grandparents, whatever, had to
Our
put up
parents, man.
with. So it's yeah, parents exactly. Like
yeah.
so I didn't really want to bring it up too much, but yeah. So in terms of like things where people appropriate our stuff or misappropriate our stuff or just take our stuff without acknowledgement, it's just like that's why a lot of us
Yeah.
get upset. It's just like you're not honoring it properly, and you don't even have the basic knowledge
Mm-hmm.
of what
Mm-hmm.
our people, ancestors, parents had to put up with when they
Mm.
were living lives as Cordilleras, Igorots, as when they were living this culture.
Yeah.
So
That's why I guess
um,
this right. That's why it gets a little disappointing when people try to claim that they're us, or use our stuff and just say, "Oh yeah, it's my indigenous blood," when they're not really. Their family members never had to go through that. I mean, there's nothing wrong. If you wear it and you honor where it comes from. But if
Mhm.
you're from one area, you can honor where you're from instead of like,
exactly,
Yeah.
trying to misrepresent. Yeah. But
exactly.
I think some people are just they just don't know. They just don't know. There's this sense of just being pan Filipino, which is I get that. That's cool because then you can find pride in just being Filipino in general, especially if you don't know much about where you came from where your family came from in the Philippines, and you just want to have some pride in something. Then you see something that's Igorot, and you go, "Oh yeah, that's me," and you just like put it
Right.
on. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I can feel my brownness come through."
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you gotta educate yourself in terms of just trying to find out where this is from and who the people are, because our culture is not dead, right? So yeah, it gets a little bit, I don't know,
Complicated.
as
Yep.
you said, annoying. How
Yep.
complicated? Yeah, that's what you meant. Sorry, I almost
Yeah.
put words in your mouth. I think that's I was projecting.
There you go. No, it's just wanted to mention that. Actually, one of the things I wanted to say was if you have stories, or anybody listening or watching, if you have stories of things like discrimination, as an Igorot, of course, or if you've heard of anything like that, I think we'd love to hear about it. So, like, either contact us or like comment in the comment section below. We'd love to hear those stories because actually it's interesting because one of our probably most popular or more commented on videos talks about that I think we were talking about other Filipinos discriminating against Igorots and stuff like that, and people were agreeing, but
Mm,
I wasn't necessarily seeing. I would have liked to see stories
yeah,
and sharing what people
Mhm.
had, because
right.
obviously it's happening. It's
Yeah.
been happening. I think it's still happening. So
Yep.
and not everybody knows that. So it'd be nice to see what people have, what kind of stories people can share. Because yeah, I think at the end of it, that
Yes. Yeah.
our stories
And
is how we're gonna learn and grow and just promote that awareness. And now at least we have, as opposed to our ancestors, we
Mm-hmm.
have things like podcasts and YouTube and video cameras and mediums to share these stories. Like it's good to put that out there, I
Mm.
think.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's part of also why we're here is because we want to share your stories. So I mean, eh, there's in some places where people have been hurt badly emotionally and physically, like in South Africa, where they had apartheid, and also with all the indigenous folks of the Americas, the North Americas, they all have been going through things called Truth and Reconciliation um, uh, Council, and part of the Truth and Reconciliation is to talk your story. And so whether it be, I mean, it would be great if we could get you on film, but to share those kind of stories is one cathartic because it allows you to express what has happened to you, and that's part of the process of healing. And then there's the other process where you get to bring truth and awareness to other people of what has happened to you. And the
Mhm.
nice thing about this is that it keeps us from being victims, because the one thing you don't want is to have a victim type of attitude or feeling. And the best way to do is just to share your truth and talk your story and have other people hear it and learn about it so that the next generations don't have to deal with that and people can become more aware about what our people have gone through.
Exactly.
Exactly.